We evolved to have the most advanced, educated farmers in the world. No question in my mind. These Western Canadian farmers were forced to make money, and they did. I'm a chemical retailer. I said, holy shit, that's going to affect chemical sales. And it will, but in a good way. If it advances farming and helps them make more money, I'm all for that technology. The second the Western Canadian farmer's under pressure, what does he do? He looks for the technology that he can weasel his way out of it. And I think that's wonderful. That's why the U.S. farmer's in trouble right now. I was at a corn and soybean meeting in Iowa, northern Iowa, Okoboji, Iowa. I was there looking at a floater, and I phone up the local dealer and I said, hey, I want to come and tour your dealership. And he said, actually, I'm doing a farmer meeting. So why don't you come to the farmer meeting? So I go to this farmer meeting, and all the farmers were middle-aged, like Canadian farmers. And there was an agronomist in the room, and I think DeKalb was running the meeting with DeKalb corn and soybean. And I got talking to the farmers, and I said, like, what's your crop rotation? Well, we grow. It's easy. We don't really think about it. We put beans on the corn stubble and corn on the bean stubble. And I said, well, how do you fertilize your corn and soybeans? Oh, my co-op agronomist tells me what to do. I don't really know. You'll have to ask him. Uh, have you considered other crops? Well, we don't have to because we make so much money growing corn and soybeans. And I said, well, like in Western Canada, we used to grow just wheat. Like in the 80s, we grew wheat. And we grew a little bit of canola and the odd pea and the odd. And then the crow rate fell and there was no money in wheat. And the entrepreneurial farmers that we are in Western Canada started looking at alternatives, and they started growing lentils and canola and peas and flax and faba beans, and they were scrambling to make money. And in the end, we evolved to have the most advanced, educated farmers in the world. No question in my mind. These Western Canadian farmers were forced to make money, and they did. They developed crop rotation. Isn't it amazing? And here now, you look in the U.S. Those poor U.S. farmers, corn, they're not selling their corn to China. Soybeans are under pressure, and they don't know what to do. They're scrambling. They don't have the research to grow another crop. They don't, they're really in a pickle. And so the school of hard knocks evolved farmers that are completely resistant in Western Canada. And I don't see this little glitch of commodity prices affecting a lot of our customers, other than they're going to make a little less money. But are they going to lose money? Probably not, because they will adopt and modify. I see a lot of our growers. I think this low commodity price in the last year has really caused a lot of our growers to consider buying those sprayers that only spray the weed. I think John Deere has one, Case has one now. And I'm a chemical retailer, so holy shit, that's going to affect chemical sales, and it will, but in a good way. If it advances farming and helps them make more money, I'm all for that technology. But I was just talking to my neighbor, and he just bought a sprayer with the seeing eye thing on it, and I think he sprayed 80 acres out of 320 with that thing. So he used, 240 acres less glyphosate, and he thinks he still killed all the weeds. He hasn't. Jury's still out on that, but it looks pretty promising. So they're doing these little tweaks to adjust to the economic conditions, and they're able to do that on a dime. If with the technology, the second a Western Canadian farmer's under pressure, what does he do? He looks for the technology that he can weasel his way out of it, and I think that's wonderful. That's why the U.S. farmer's in trouble right now. And I know they got a big brown envelope in February down there, and they expect to keep getting those brown envelopes. And I think that breeds complacency in any industry. So I don't think it's healthy for the U.S. farmers to be subsidized the way they are, to be honest with you.
What is the lesson in the tale of two farms there?
What is the lesson? I think the lesson is, if you run a farm, that you need to spend some of your time in the winter researching not just what went right last year, but what you're going to do to improve next year. All continuous improvement, I think, is necessary. If we make too much money, which like 3 or 4 years ago when canola was $22 a bushel, farmers we're starting to be a little complacent. Oh, this, you know what? I'm going to Arizona for the winter, and I said, are you going to go to the Farm Progress Show or to the crop production show? And said, no, I don't think I will this year. I'm just going to go to Arizona and golf. But when times get tough, they say, you know what? I've got to go really research what are the little things I can do to grow more canola this year for less money. Constant, and the technology is changing so quickly that we have to do that. And that's another reason why I have my research division, because all these new technologies come along, people make claims that they're going to make our farm customers money, but what we want to test them. And actually, these products don't go on our shelves unless we test them first. So sometimes a new product comes out and we say, well, we're skeptical about it. We'll put it in our research, and if there's a positive response, we will put it on our shelves.